Walk with me.
The I am is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will feel no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the I am forever. Psalms chapter 23. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have sway over the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me in my seat forever, that we go not astray henceforth and forevermore. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, those of you on this platform and those shared platforms. We thank God for you. And then we also thank God for those of you that have been with us since the beginning. And we thank God for those of you that have subscribed or came about here and there's about. And we thank God for those of you who have just subscribed. We glorify God for you. And we thank God for those of you that are about to subscribe, calling those things that are not as though they are. Yes, yes, yes. We're in the 28th chapter of the book of Jasher. Jasher chapter 28. Now, as you prepare, it's in the 27th chapter that Nimrod was killed by Esau. Esau was a wild man. Now, the I am had set it up where Esau could he wanted to erase Nimrod. So because of the heart of Esau, Esau began to hunt even the hunter, even Nimrod, even as he had seen in his dreams that the seed of Abram, this is one reason why he would try to delete Abram. He would have him, we put him in a fiery furnace, just as years later, the king of Babylon put Daniel, or the three Hebrew men, in the fiery furnace. Excuse me. And next thing you know, God delivered Abram. And now his son comes to do the bidding of the Most High, even fulfill the dreams that Nimrod had witnessed from the I am. Now, after this, we're in chapter 28 and verse 1. Let's continue. Now, in those days after the death of Abram, in that year, the I am brought a heavy famine in the land. See, God is doing all of this. For a certain reason. God works through circumstance. You might say, well, this famine occurred this way or that way. God told a spirit or an angel to cause this famine, or spirits. And whilst the famine was raging in the land of Canaan, Isaac rose up to go down to Egypt on account of the famine, as his father Abraham had done. In other words, God blessed Egypt with plenty of corn. You know, regardless of what the history of Egypt is, corn. Corn was Egypt's chief commodity. Now, at that time. Now, here we go again. And now Abram is going to, not Abram, but Isaac is going to Egypt. Now, it says here that, and the I am appeared that night to Isaac, and he said, do not go down to Egypt. Now, many think that when you say down, you're thinking you're still in Africa. You're in Africa either way, because the Sinai, or what they call this peninsula or whatever, it's still on that tectonic plate. That's part of northern Africa. All right. Now, when you have this split that's about to occur during this time, and it's splitting Africa, and this is going to cause a shift, and it's going to cause it to really bump into that tectonic plate is either going to cause the mainland to go one way, or should I say west, and cause the other one to go east. And maybe you might see that was part of the land. Now, here we go again. And Isaac rose up and went to Gerar, as the I Am commanded him, and he remained there a full year. In other words, that's where food was growing there. You could grow food. And when Isaac came to Gerar, the people of the land saw that Rebekah, his wife, was of a beautiful appearance. Now, here's the thing happening again. Nothing new. They're looking at a beautiful woman. Now, she's 30 years younger than even Isaac himself, mind you. Very beautiful. And Rebekah was just naturally beautiful anyway. I mean, not Rebekah, but Sarah. Now, and asked Isaac concerning his wife, and he said, "She is my sister." For he was afraid to say she was his wife, lest the people of the land should slay him on account of her. Now, given he feared and he knew his surroundings, he knew the people that he had to deal with. He didn't go, as we would do today, "Oh, the Holy Ghost is against you. I'm calling down the fire of heaven," and all this other stuff. No, God don't work like that, man. Please, give me a break. Now, for he was afraid that they should slay him on account of her. And verse 5, and the princes of Abimelech went and praised the woman to the king, but he answered them not, neither did he attend to their words. In other words, something ain't right. I heard this story before, about these children of Abram, about Abram, and this is his child. But he heard them say that Isaac declared to her to be his sister, and the king reserved this within himself. In other words, something ain't right about this. And when Isaac had remained 3 months in the land, Abimelech looked out the window, and he saw. And behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah. Now, you think about how David looked out and he saw Bathsheba taking a bath. Now, if he could look out and saw Bathsheba, he had to be on a high mount or a higher altitude in order to look down and see. Now, this is the same thing here with Abimelech in this area. Now, he saw him sporting with his wife. In other words, he was having fun with his wife, his young wife, yes. And for Isaac dwelt in the outer house belonging to the king, so that the house of Isaac was opposite the house of the king. And the king said to Isaac, "What is this thou hast done to us in saying of thy wife, she is my sister? How easily might one of the great men of the people have slain with her, and thou wouldest then have brought guilt upon us." Apparently, these people knew the way of the Most High. They knew what their father Ham had taught them, that was taught by Noah unto his 3 sons, and then their fathers taught them. But apparently they did not choose to go that way, for the Most High even declared that he have designed spirits to lead them away from his own people, even as Abraham gave his other children gifts and sent them away from his son who was chosen. Now, at that point, Shem was chosen. It went down from Shem was chosen to Abraham was chosen, then to the point where Isaac is chosen. Now we have Jacob and Esau. Well, some of you might be used to saying Esau and Jacob. See, this is one of the reasons why this book probably was done away with. It probably was the spirit of Esau that did it. Even though it might have other versions or whatever, there's always different translations. You're talking about linguists here. You're not talking about people that can read and understand the laws of the language that they speak. Now, and Isaac said unto Abimelech, "Because I was afraid lest I die on account of my wife, therefore I said, she is my sister." Verse 10. And at that time Abimelech gave orders to all his princes and great men, and they took Isaac and Rebekah, his wife, and brought them before the king. And the king commanded that they should dress them in princely garments and make them ride through the streets of the city and proclaim before them throughout the land, saying, "This is the man and this is his wife. Whoever touches this man or his wife shall surely die." And Isaac returned with his wife to the king's house. And the I Am was with Isaac, and he continued to wax great and lacked nothing. In other words, God had a hand in this. Today, it doesn't matter. People don't dream. They don't. We're so hooked on listening to spirits that a man come and he woo your wife or woo a wife away and devastate everything, not only himself but a whole family. Or either a woman walks out of her marriage calling herself going to have company of her children and ruin the whole ordeal, even the children. Now, again, Abimelech, he acted well with Isaac. So the I Am calls Isaac to find favor in the sight of Abimelech. I'm in verse 12. And in the sight of all his subjects. And Abimelech acted well with Isaac. For Abimelech remembered the oath and the covenant that exists between his father and Abraham. See, this is why he had to ponder the thing again. Something is up. Verse 13, and Abimelech said to Isaac, "Behold, the whole earth is before thee." The whole earth, all the earth that's before me is before thee. "Dwell wherever it may seem good in thy sight, until thou return to thy land." And Abimelech gave Isaac, even Isaac, fields and vineyards and the best part of the land of Gerar, to sow and reap and eat the fruits of the ground until the days of the famine should have passed by. Now you have to remember, this land of Canaan, the land of the Philistines, and all these lands were very lush. They had trees and they had wild fruits, and I had many things before it turned to the desert land as we see today. But because of the children of Israel, this desert land began to creep up. The land that we see now, and even in the United States, it used to be a luscious green land. I mean, with fruit trees as described by those who would make the maps. And I mean, green lands, the rivers, grasses, everything was just so, until the grasshoppers came. And today the grasshoppers have destroyed most of the earth because of their wanting to be the corner of the market, or should I say the monopoly on everything, and industrialization. That's what I call grasshoppers. You watch the movie Independence Day. They swallowed up the resources. And this is what is happening today. These entities are swallowing up the resources and bigger ammunitions and bombs and nuclear bombs in order to bring fear upon other nations in hopes that they could swallow up their resources. And the last left is South America and Africa. The rest, they have resources, yes, but not the resources that are in the ground as much as the continent of Africa and South America. Now, verse 13 again, we're still down. He went and he said, "Sow and reap and eat the fruits of the ground until the days of the famine should have passed by." Now again, he goes again here. He says, "And Isaac sowed in that land and received 100-fold in the same year." He's talking about crops. This land was so fertile. Fertile land. It's like the United States and South America. Fertile land. Didn't need no pesticides. Didn't need no fertilizer. This has been for thousands of years until the grasshopper came. Not only there in the top part, this was because of a curse, but if you go down further south, even on the continent of Africa, the land was fertile. It's still fertile to this day, but still it's depleted. Everything is depleted. But the United States have become depleted even more because their abundance, the ground will not yield what it should. So therefore, they come up with inventions and poison the people. And many ailments and things are brought about and become what you would call conditions. No one would actually say what it is, although most nutritionists and doctors and all kind of professionals know what this is. Why the people are thus and so. Why the obesity. Why all the malnutrition of the American people and those in South America, even Africa. There's an attrition that the ground is not yielding. So we come up with vitamins. We want to treat the symptoms because it makes more money than trying to get the ailment away forever. In other words, leave the ground alone. Naturally fertilize it. Use plants and flowers to ward away all its enemies that would cause the plants not to grow. These things are what we're not doing. And thus, we have to eat depleted fruit. It's still good, still nice. Some fruits are organically grown without pesticides whatsoever, and some are they call organic. It's just not even good. But either way, let us continue. I digress. And the man waxed great, and he had possessions of flocks and possession of herds and great store of servants. 16. And when the days of famine had passed away, the I Am appeared to Isaac and said unto him, Rise up, go forth. Go forth. This was really an angel. The angels that appeared is always before the I Am. From this place and return to thy land and to the land of Canaan. And Isaac rose up and returned to Hebron, which is in the land of Canaan, and he and all belonging to him, as the I Am commanded him. Now, and after this, Shelach, the son of Aphoshad, died in the year, which is the 18th year of the lives of Jacob and Esau. And all the days of Shelach lived were 433 years, and he died. That's a long time. And at that time, Isaac sent his younger son, Jacob, even Jacob, to the house of Shem and Eber. And he learned the instructions of the I Am. Shem's still there. Eber's still there. And he learned, with long life will I satisfy thee. I will say that part of that psalm. Learn what that means. With long life will I satisfy thee, what God says. Hallelujah. Now, for 32 years, and Esau, his brother, did not go, for he was not willing to go. Esau did not go with Jacob, with Isaac and Jacob. Esau, his brother, did not go, for he was not willing to go, and he remained in his father's house in the land of Canaan. In other words, he liked where he was. I mean, he was what it says? It says that he was, what year was they? They were 18 years old. Now, Esau had deleted he had to be 16 or 17, somewhere around there, when he deleted Nimrod. Very strong young man. Now, today Esau would be in the prison industrial complex. But that was the vengeance of the Most High back then. Getting free money and not even, and the government stealing the restitution of those that these criminals have devastated. And then they excuse some and accuse others because you don't look like us. Now, for he was not willing to go, he remained in his father's house in the land of Canaan. And Esau was continually hunting in the field to bring home what he could get. So did Esau all the days. And Esau was a designing deceitful man, one who hunted after the hearts of men and inveigled them. And Esau was a valiant man in the field. Now let's go back and see what he says. He says Esau was a designing and deceitful man. In other words, he's a trickster. See, this tells the opposite of what your 66 books told you. This man is more of a supplanter than Jacob or Jacob. This is something that we understand, and they got rid of it, even the spirit of Esau. He designed many things. He was crafty, one who hunted after the hearts of men and veiled them. The same one who come up with this Esau's and deceived many with flatteries. Went along the aisles, taking spoils of those who had unwalled villages. In other words, anything that was weaker than him, he was going taking it before somebody else would. Message. Okay. And Esau unveiled them. In other words, he was very deceitful. It was hard to figure Esau out. And Esau was a valiant man in the field, and in the course of time went as usual to hunt. And he came as far as the field of Seir, the same as Edom. Now this is claimed by Esau. And he remained in the land of Seir, hunting in the field, a year and 4 months. And Esau there saw in the land of Seir the daughter of a man of Canaan, and her name was, it says the J, we'll say Ehudith. This say Yehudith, or Jehudith, or Judith, Jehudith, the daughter of Beeri, the son of Ephah, from the families of Heth, the son of Canaan. And Esau took her for a wife, and he came unto her 40 years, and he came unto her. 40 years old was Esau when he took her. Now, he didn't want to go to the house of Shem, or Melchizedek, and Eber, but he wanted to hunt. And he hunted himself a wife too. He stayed there, now 40 years old. He took the wife. How this Esau was 40 years old when he took her, and he brought her to Hebron, the land of his father's dwelling place, and he dwelt there. Now, this is time fast forwarded. And it came to pass in those days, in the 110th year of the life of Isaac, that is in the 15th year of the life of Jacob, the 50th year of the life of Jacob. In that year died Melchizedek. When Jacob was 50, Melchizedek died, even Shem. It was time for him to go. I'm sure the Most High had conversed with him. His flesh had to go. He had to be separated from his flesh. Shem was 600 years old at his death. Does that add up? Yes, it does. The numbers add up. And when Shem died, Jacob returned to his father to Hebron, which is in the land of Canaan. Now, Jacob was there learning from his grandfather, even the original who came out of the flood, who knew the horrors of the flood and the horrors of the Most High, even the horrors that even his own grandfather had suffered under Nimrod. Of the life of Jacob. Now, people came from Haran, and Rebekah was told concerning her brother Laban, the son of Bethuel, for the wife of Laban was barren in those days, and bare no children. Now Laban, here we go again, setting us up again for the next event. And so all his handmaids bare none to him. And I am after remembered Adinah, the wife of Laban, and she conceived. and bare twin daughters. And Laban called the names of his daughters, the name of his elder daughter, Leah. She was the elder daughter. And the name of the younger daughter, Rachel. Now, according to this, they wasn't identical twins. They was not identical twins, as we will find out. And those people came and told these things to Rebekah, and Rebekah rejoiced greatly. And I am had visited her brother, and that he had got children. Now we're going to delve a little bit into chapter 29. And Isaac, the son of Abram, became old and advanced in years, in days, and his eyes became heavy through age, and they were dim and could not see. And at that time Isaac called unto Esau his son, saying, Get, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and rise up and go forth into the field, and get me some venison, deer meat. For those of you who don't know, deer meat. And make me savory meat, and bring it to me. Now, you got to be special to make some good deer meat. You got to be special to make it savory, and you just got to be a connoisseur of this cuisine. Now, and bring it to me, that I might eat in order, that I might bless thee before my death, as I have now become old and gray-headed. And Esau did so, and he took his weapon and went forth into the field for venison as usual, and to bring to his father as he has ordered him, so that he might bless him. And Rebekah heard, in verse 4, all the words that Isaac had spoken unto Esau. She hastened to call her son Jacob, saying, Thus did thy father speak unto thy brother Esau, and thus did I hear. Now, therefore, hasten and make that which I shall tell thee. And with that, we're going to say, peace.
Walk with me.